Morning. It's so exciting seeing all of our grantees here. But we're gonna get started because we have a full program for you. So. It's the echo.
Oh, it's, not yet.
All right.
Hold on, we're gonna fix it.
We're gonna fix that. My loud voice is enough by itself. I know, we need.
Going on here. So right now, I'm going to have Sylvia Scott come. A lot of people, we So, our focus right now in Best Start is around, early childhood education. And it's also around, early childhood or childcare. And working on a lot of things where we know that the Antelope Valley is a childcare desert. And so we're really working on bringing some skills, some tools, some resources to the community so that we can get our earliest, areas caught up and with better resources so that our children, we don't see them struggling by the time they get to kindergarten or struggling by the time we get to third grade. We just had, a couple of months back, we just had third grade reading levels that were brought out all through LA County. And they were horrible numbers. They were numbers that we should have caught early on. We should have caught them in kindergarten and first grade before they get to fifth grade, because that's really where we should be. We should be saying, are they ready for kindergarten? Are they ready and fully developed to be, successful and productive in school? So that's a lot of our, what, Best Start really aims to do here in the Antelope Valley. And, but I'd also like to thank, there's a lot of people that, work behind the scenes that, make this happen. They make our meetings happen and a lot of the work that we're doing. And so I'd like to introduce, our team, our Best Start team. You guys met Darrell. She's our community facilitator. We have Omar Gonzalez, who is our community organizer in the back. We have Carla, she's our policy analyst. We have David, who's our data manager, and Miss Stephanie here, she's our program specialist. And then there's also other people that make things happen. We have Carmen and Carlos, who are translators out there in the back. And our one of our kind IT support, Nadia, here with us as well. So I just want to give everybody a shout out and, thank you so much for all the work that goes into putting all this together. But most importantly, I really want to thank the grantees that are here with us today. It's really important that the community and that other people know the work that you're doing. We need to elevate each and every single one of you guys. And get the spotlight put on you, because the work that you guys are doing here in our community is such important work, such valuable work. And so we need to continue to support each other. We need to continue to raise you up and work together. Because our community really needs, as many resources and much support as we can give them. And I think it's important, because we're also all part of this community. This community is important to us, and I live here, and I want to make sure that my community is healthy. My community has their needs met too. So I invite you to join Best Start, to come to our regional meetings. A lot of the work that we do is around our convenings, our regular meetings. We do a lot of capacity building opportunities that we provide to the community. And I know Carla will be sharing some of the stuff that we've got going on, and that we've done. But again, I really encourage you to be part of this amazing group. We've got some really amazing community members that are part of committees, that are part of running things, and it's so important that we all do this together. So thank you again for being here. And I think I'm gonna introduce Mr. Adam. Adam is our wonderful policy analyst. He's like just this walking brain of just advocacy and policy that we really appreciate. He does a lot of work for us in the Best Start, but he's doing so much work that goes beyond what people realize through Children's Bureau. Adam is a constant staple in Sacramento and with our politicians and really getting some changes done. So we're really blessed to have him with us as well today. And Adam, take it away.
Hello, everybody. This is a really cool event. I really like it. This is really exciting to be here. Yeah, I'm Adam Seiden. I'm the Director of Policy Advocacy and External Engagement with Children's Bureau. And Children's Bureau is very active with advocacy, with policy. Is this working now or is all right? So, see, Darrell, I know how to do it. We are very active with this. So like we're active with, especially in like prevention, trying to really look upstream. So like our CEO, Ron Brown, has been the chair of the prevention committee for, there's a thing called the Alliance Child and Family Services. It's a group of like 160 nonprofit service providers throughout the state. They get together and kind of really looking to push, to kind of look upstream. He's also the chair of the, they call Access, which is kind of a similar alliance at the LA County level. Then also active with a member of these, of one of the subcommittees for the state's mandated reporting, community supporting task force, is really looking at mandated reporting and whether or not there was change it to kind of separate poverty from neglect. Getting less people inappropriately kind of caught up in the child welfare system, trying to maybe get them support ahead of time. So things like that we're involved in. One of the things specifically also we do is kind of direct advocacy about bills and budget positions that are taking place in Sacramento. And that's what I want to kind of take you through and just give you a glimpse of the types of things that we fight for. And just, it's not just up here to kind of say, well, here are the great things we do. The idea with this is to kind of take you through different topics, different things, because there might be some things that you think are really important. That you're like, well, that's the thing I care about. Yeah, that really makes a lot of difference. And just so you can kind of see that there are chances to get involved. There are things that, kind of join and fight for, and help with the same thing. So that's, there's resources at the end as well. So if I could get the next screen. Do that. All right. So just to start with kind of a point in time, make sure we understand the calendar of legislative advocacy. So in the beginning of the year, of each year, the legislature comes in and introduces new bills. And you'll notice is, you see there's these updates, these items that are in black font versus items that are in blue font. So what we have going on is a legislative calendar where there are bills that are going through the different houses. And then at the same time, there's the budget, which is going on. And obviously so many things that we do are important, cost money, and these two things interrelate. And so when new bills are being introduced at the beginning of the year, also the governor is saying, like, here's my first draft of my budget, what I think should be happening. And then kind of in the February, March, April is when the legislature looks at these things and starts kind of pushing back and saying, well, what about this? Let's have a hearing on these things, and starts really kind of formulating, well, what is their response to the governor? Which is why March and April are such great times for advocacy. You'll see a lot of times when people are off, like, let's get a busload of people and go to Sacramento and then do advocacy. Because by May, the governor comes out with kind of like his update of the budget, and the legislature says, well, here's our final budget. And like right now, we're in the kind of final negotiations of what is that budget going to look like? How many of these things that, kind of affect families and children are going to get cut or not? And as you probably know, there's a $50 billion approximately budget shortfall still to fix this year, and another $35 billion next year. So things are going to get cut. There are going to be things coming back, but we stand out there and we say, well, okay, fine, but not these things, not these most vulnerable children, not the people who rely on this the most. And so that is what's going on. Actually, today, the legislature is probably going to pass their budget, so that they can kind of keep getting paid, but it's through the next couple of weeks when the final, final decision will be made. So that's just kind of the point in time where we are. And so through this time, the things we've been fighting for, are wrapped up in what we call our policy agenda. And that's kind of our bills and budget issues that we're supporting. So, and it goes in different categories. First of all, we're providing childcare and early childhood development programs. And it's so great having that start as a partner and having Carla. We talk all the time, and we will Children's Bureau as a whole organization for Pet Start really focuses on how important childcare is. And so many families and children get wrapped up into the child welfare system due to neglect, and often with neglect, one of the main things is insufficient supervision. Okay, well, if that is what is causing people to be wrapped up in systems that are not the best thing that's going to help the family, why don't we get them some childcare, make sure that they have, they have that. And so we would push for that. And Carla helps me to kind of like point out, different things I should look at, different bills I should maybe support. And so there are some things that will we as an agency are supporting and then Best Start supporting. As well as protecting early childhood, development programs like what Best Five does. It's very important to make sure that those continue. The next set is ensuring children and their families are in good health. Children are provided behavioral health services, but they're so much more impactful when the healthcare system is fully staffed. There are actually, it's one thing to have health insurance, but if the, next available appointment is 2 months from now, that doesn't necessarily help. We need to make sure there's enough, physicians, especially in the underserved areas. We need to make sure that, especially for the youngest, population 0 to 5, that there's a continual Medi-Cal, so you don't have to do all the paperwork to sign up for Medi-Cal, and then, later on, you go to make an appointment, and you end up, oh, well, you missed this packet, you should have signed it, like this, once somebody is eligible for it, this is keep it eligible, week 0 to 5. I will point out one thing I have put on here that's actually from last year, there was an assembly, bill, that Assemblyman Blackie, authored that would have trying to make sure that there's more preventative medical care, at least identifying where in the state there is more pediatricians that are needed, where are there pediatricians there. So that wasn't something I've been fighting this year, but I just want to point out and thank Assemblyman Blackie for, that's the type of bill, the type of thing that we support and push. Third one is alleviating poverty and homelessness. Obviously, I think we're trying to make sure that families stay strong and stay together. They need to have some basic necessities met, basic stability of housing. And so we're gonna go there. Fourth category is building strong communities and innovative supports. Most of the stuff we look at, some kind of state government, but we also do talk to our Congress member, talk to Congress member Mike Garcia and say, hey, can you make sure that you're pushing for these things called community-based child abuse prevention grants. And they fund really innovative things like family resource centers, like in-home visiting programs, but also things that like help to bring communities together to find the power within themselves to kind of make changes. Things like Best Start, great stuff that Start does. Well, throughout the country, there's these grants that can help say, hey, you should be doing these types of things throughout the country as well. I also point out, Assemblymember Juan Carrillo has a bill this year that's really looking at boosting English learner education, and, making sure that it's actually done well. And one of the things that is important in this one is it talks about specifically kind of getting parents involved, having there be a parent toolkit, because one thing for the school to say, oh, yeah, we're gonna do these things, but we get the parents aware of it, we get the parents involved, that can kind of, help make sure that this really goes well. So that's why that's an important bill. That's something that Korea is awesome. And then the final one, caring for children who are separated from their parents. As much as we try to make strong families strong, keep families together, there are times when a child needs to be separated from their family, from their parents. And we need to make sure that when we're doing that, the infrastructure is there to make sure that we can find loving homes for them and services they need, so things like foster family agencies, residential care treatments like SPRTV, kind of need to make sure that that is there, when it is needed. And so that, you put all together, those are our policy, agenda. If anybody is interested in any of those things, and it was like, oh, that sounds like something I'd like to learn more about, or what are we talking about there? You can go to allforkids.org/advocacy, and there's background information on each of these things. There's also some tips about how to get active and links on that. And so, I'm sorry, before I go to that, you'll note that the governors may revise. There's a few things that have stood out in addition to that after we did our policy agenda. Specifically, we're worried about some of the cuts the governor is proposing around emergency child care bridge program, multi-year child care expansion. The idea is there needs to be more child care, and so the state is doing a certain amount of it, but it's supposed to be kind of getting more and more, and they said, well, let's be budget deficit, let's kind of stop that. What we have right now, fine, let's not push for any more, and that is not with the momentum we should be going on. And then a couple other things around cowboys. And so As far as resources you can find, tips for advocating locally, and it's kind of what I'm here to do is to say, hey, look, this is in your hands. These are things that you can reach out and talk to people about. And so, just calling your legislator, contacting them and kind of saying, here, this is something that's important to me. Ideally, what I've provided as far as the bill numbers, the budget positions are things that can help you, make it more specific and say, well, specifically what I'm worried about is making sure children, keep their bank account. Or what I'm really worried about is making sure this or that. The idea is of children are trying to get you those resources, get you those pieces, and then make it so that you can reach out and when you do call, kind of focus on how it affects you as constituent, and that's what legislators care about. You say, look, I live in your district. I go to this church, and we all care about this in your district, and this is something that's important. Be clear about what you're asking them to do. And of course, take the social media when you do that. Make sure you're tagging those elected officials. Make sure you're trying to build your coalition, trying to get the conference member to do something. Okay, well, talk to your local city council members, talk to others, and get them involved and ask them to make involved. And so there's tips, things like that at allforkids.org/advocacy. To kind of close out, I'll just point out that with the June right now is the big budget decisions, but there are still chances in the second half of the year to do things. There's some, there's a thing called the second house. So whatever the bill doesn't make it out of May and June, there still are some fighting around that. And there is still some amount probably in July of making sure the final touches on the budget. But what I will say is, come, first of all, July is a good time to be active because in July, legislators can call it summer recess. They don't have to be in Sacramento anymore. They have to be in their districts, so they're there much more. And it's a better chance to get a chance to meet with them. So July is a good time to be active. When you get to September, October, people's brains really kind of start to think about the election, right? The general election, November 5th. By the way, make sure you register, make sure you vote. That is important. But then November and December, they're back, they're, kind of thinking about stuff and getting ready for next year, trying to figure out what are your priorities. And that's a good time to talk with them and make sure that they're thinking about your priorities when they're thinking about their priorities for the upcoming year. And just things like, as I mentioned, there is definitely a push going to move from what's called mandated reporting to community supporting. The idea of if a family is struggling, if there isn't the right food, if there isn't the right things that they need, is that being a call to child protective services? Is that abuse? Or would it be better just kind of get that family the help kind of through the community pathway, get what they need, and really kind of distinguish from what is neglect, what is actually abuse, what is actually something where we need to kind of step in and start towards separating that family apart, or what's just, well, let's get that family the help they need. And that is the thing I think is really gonna be important to talk about, because that's really on the mind right now. That is really gonna be moving. And so that, that's the kind of thing that, you don't have to have a bill number. You can kind of generally talk about this is the type of thing that's important to me as, in generalities. So that's the kind of good things you can do in July and then November, December, especially. So with that, I will stop and take questions. If anybody has questions about any of the things I covered, about. Yeah.
The general election will play a big role in like what happens in January, but I know it's only every 4 years. I don't know if this is just based on the municipal elections.
Right, so, the presidential is every 4 years. And that certainly, will play a big, thing of what happens throughout the state. The, legislative, so you have in Sacramento, Assembly and the Senate, and those elections happen every 2 years. And certainly, who wins on those and, or even what they're talking about is one thing that kind of affected, even if it's okay, it's two Democrats fighting against each other in a certain area, two Republicans fighting against each other in a certain area. But what is it they're talking about, kind of moving the dialogue a certain way. And so that way they make commitments in order to get elected, well, now they're gonna have to follow up on those commitments. So certainly advocacy, policy advocacy is important. And it can affect, when it affects who gets elected, so I would say yes, it matters. I will say, just to be clear, you know, we don't, you know, although we don't say who to vote for, I would never say, oh, here's the better candidate, or here's who did that, like, we don't get involved in elections on who to vote for. But I will say, we can say very clearly, Children's Bureau, like, it is important to vote for. It is important that when you're a part of this kind of a coalition, you're part of knowing how important it is to get mental health services, to get, you know, kind of support to, you know, to care about, you know, children first 5. If that is a value you have, and then you go and you vote your values, like, that will help push those things generally, so it's important to vote. Thank you for bringing that up, that's great. Yeah.
Okay, so looking at the timeline, so it looks like the second house policy, if you're working on policy issues, it needs to pass by July 3rd, right? Or
It needs to have that on the policy committee by July 3rd. So when you're talking about bills, there's always kind of 2 different pieces of it. One thing is, what is the policy, like, do we think that, you know, when this happens, like, for example, there's a thing about, you know, if a child is found in a school with, drugs, with alcohol, if that is an issue, should that, like, from a policy perspective, be treated as a crime, and like, get that kid out of there, protect all the other kids? Or should that be treated as a public health issue where that child needs some help, let's get them some support, let's get them some program? And that doesn't necessarily cost money a different way, but that's just like the policy and how should we approach it. I mentioned that topic, like, there's a specific bill going on, it's not one that children's grow in the middle of, but there's a specific bill on that, trying to push it more to it's kind of a public health perspective. So that's a policy decision. That's separate from if it's gonna cost money. If you're like, oh, well, let's give them grants to go make this happen and to push the thing, and now all of a sudden you're talking about something that costs money, that has to go to appropriations. So when there's different deadlines, so anything that has to get a policy committee by July 3rd, and then it's in August that, okay, if it costs any money, then it would be kind of a separate set of things. Then, you know, there's the people who look at the appropriations committee and talk to them, they're also thinking about the policy. Like, they don't like the policy, they can say, well, this costs too much money. But that's why, that's that.
well, the reason I asked is like, so for like this year, like, it's like, and the budget's happening now, so it should be, is it better? Or like more strategic to plan for things that may be happening after this fiscal year, like start setting up for next year, like how much can be done this year versus how much can you plan and start again?
Yeah.
How does this decide?
Right, and that's why it's a great question. That's kind of like why I always kind of talk about the timelines, that it's kind of orange, but it's like, it's important to know when should you plan different things and what should you do right now. So if you're trying to affect this year, like what's in the budget this year, that's like passing by the legislature passing their budget like today and over the next week or two, like if there's stuff that's on the cusp, I mean, I would never say that it's not important to make your voice heard, like, you know, the more and more people who still call their legislators and still write to the government and say this particular thing is important, that is still important. But if you're trying to shape it more, shape the dialogue, like January, February, March is really a great time to do it. So by April, May, they're doing it. So if you're looking at now, if you're looking at kind of July, August, September, if you happen to have a bill that's in the second house that you care about, is that really kind of a specific gift? You have that, then still work on that. But if not, I would say, you know, if you're in August, September, October, you know, start talking about next year. Next year, here's what we want to have. We know there's gonna be a budget deficit again next year. If you are like, we didn't like this thing that happened now, let's make sure that doesn't happen again next year. Yeah, if you're in September, October, start talking about next year. Yeah. Go ahead.
I just wanted to add, I wanted to add to your point about, like, reaching out to the representative. So a lot of times it's too late right now, it's too late to submit a bill, but there are bills, as you pointed out, that are already out there. It's really important to call or send letters to your representatives, because we keep track, I work for Antelope. So, we keep track of who calls and whether it's opposed or not, or in favor. And when he's voting for them, he pulls that report. So don't think that your calls don't matter because they do, but they also don't need to be anonymous. So if you're gonna make an anonymous call, you probably shouldn't make it because we can't log it. So, and call your representative, because I know it feels really good to like send a letter to all the senators, but all of the senators can't vote for you, only your. So that's it.
And is it okay if I ask them, because I know we have some representatives, it's a great point, that segue, we have a couple representatives from offices, do you mind telling us your name? I know you mentioned Senator Wolf, but, and if anybody else who represents them, I could just hold great.
So I'm Don Hill, I'm the district director for Senator Scott Wood, so Senate District 21. I work on with Santa Clarita, AD and.
Hi, everyone. My name's Angelica and I'm a field representative for Assembly Member Juan Carrillo. We are from the Assembly District 39.
And great having you here. And that's the idea, you know, when we're talking about policy, and it's definitely important that, you know, that they're there, they're great partners in doing this stuff. So, yeah, you heard what they said. If you're gonna make a call, let them know your name, you know, where you live, if that's the thing that they ask, and that way they know you're somebody in their district that they should listen to, and they know. And as Donna just said, they keep track of that. They'll, you know, so even if you don't, obviously you call the office, you're not gonna get the assembly member. Even if you go to meet at the office, it's important to meet with staff. You know, you bring a couple people, obviously you have to schedule it and make sure you're doing that, but you bring a couple people and say, this is the thing we wanna talk to, you talk to staff. That gets back to their boss. They let them know
our amazing members who attend the partnership meetings and participate and give us their feedback, provide their input on what type of resources they would like to see in the AD, and more importantly, what type of learning opportunities. We know that there's a lot of great trainings and workshops and resources down in the greater LA area, but we know we have a lot of great stuff here in so much, a lot of learning. I think some of my favorite comments from that training were, after this, the way that I engage with my child is different. Now I understand why every moment matters. Why what I do, the way that I act, the way that I engage with my child, all of that matters. And I was so grateful to that parent who shared that and who went above and beyond to bring more moms, other parents into the training. And I think that that is really what we're all here for, to make that impact in families and in those little ones, right? We just yesterday, we finished the 4-session webinar with with 0 to 3. And so what is next is a 2-day train the trainer. We have a couple of people already signed up from the community who will be getting trained to deliver this 7. Now the Best Start Academy, where we will start off with a level 1 training on what is Best Start. Why does community organizing matter? Why should I be more involved in my community? What type of impact can I bring for children and families and children 0 to 5? We'll have a level 2 that focuses more on leadership and skill building. And then we'll top it off with a level 3 that really focuses on policy and advocacy. So we are really excited to see what type of change our community can bring to the AV, right? Really, this is putting all the knowledge, all the drive in the hands of our community. That's what that starts standing. So please, keep an eye out for that. We're really excited. The opening doors parenting classes have been continued to be offered throughout the AV. So shout out to Ms. Javier in the back, because I know that the Sarga has been consistently offering these classes. They focus on empowering parents to have a great relationship with their children. And all in all, I think one of my biggest takeaways about opening doors is nobody really teaches us to be parents, right? And when we have our first video, it's trial and error. To figure it out, trying to, figure out how to raise a whole little human being. And that can be hard. And so through the Opening Doors program, they've been able to continue to build community for parents, so that parents don't have to feel alone in this super long journey, right? That sometimes I feel like growing up, I always heard 18 and they're out, 18 and they're out. No, they never leave, right? They're always wanting to be our savior. And then I don't think we have that many Yes, okay. So we recently finished our baby science ECU training. We have childcare providers and others who work with children directly attend a 1-day, 3-hour workshop here on Saturday morning, which I really appreciated because they gave us the Saturday to be here with us and learn about how they can integrate baby science into their program. And how does this build communication and support communication for little ones, right? When we think of child abuse and for parents to get easily frustrated with a little one because they can't communicate and that can lead to child abuse. It's so important that we equip parents, childcare providers, families with the tools and resources and skills to be able to better communicate with their little ones. I think that the biggest takeaway here was really learning how much children can communicate at such an early age. Do you guys agree? For those of you who attended, it was so much fun. After that, we had a 2-day instructor training where we had over, I would say 30 different works that 50 people who attended. We had a really packed class. We really wiggled ourselves around this room to make everyone fit, but it was so much fun. The energy, the laughter, but more importantly, all the knowledge and skills that we have to walk away with. That was really the biggest takeaway for me. And knowing that now we have more community members who are equipped to deliver these workshops in the community is good beyond amazing. So we do have, this, I think this video has been shared with our partnership. I don't know, do we have audio or no? I mean, no, no. Exciting, more. We want more of this in our community. And here we have a little bit of the trauma-informed AV training program. We had over 55 organizations, 55 participants, sorry, and 22 organizations. It's okay, you guys get what I'm saying. There was a lot of people in here. There was a lot. And so the beauty with all of these trainings and all these workshops is really we're building skills, really making this so much more accessible to our community. And the goal is that the community feels ready to, for those who participate, that they feel ready to turn the work around and share it with more families. Again, last opportunity to jump into the 3-day workshop is September 9th, 7, followed by 2-day training break. A lot of great workshops. Before we go on to the follow-up, guys, I do want to point out we have a beautiful little resource table here. Let me tell you how hard we have worked on putting this together. Okay, we are going to be busy during the summer. If you guys are already subscribed to the Best Start email list, you probably already heard about some of the events that are happening this summer. We have a 4-session childcare providers for summer learning in partnership with SLEA Therapy. So if you know a childcare provider who would be interested in free training, we have some sessions coming up. An extension to our Best Start partnership, because for those of you who have been here, you've seen our amazing moms who bring their little ones, and we love to see the little ones get up here and present with their mommies. We love that. We want to see more of that. So we understand that, you know, we also have to build community first, make sure that parents feel comfortable in bringing their little ones. So what we're starting is the Best Start partnership playground. And here's those little blue bags, please stop following your bags with this playground. We want to make sure that parents are hearing about the opportunity to attend the partnership playground. It is an extension of the regional partnership meetings. So whatever we discuss here in the partnership meetings, we will be sharing at the playground. But parents will have an opportunity, or if you don't have to be a parent, as long as you have a child, if you're here, you can stop by and participate in the meeting there while the kiddo plays at Imagine City and AV Walk. You're familiar with Imagine City and AV Walk? Awesome, yeah. So we hope that more parents, more caregivers, grandparents, aunties, uncles, whoever takes it. I know my kids are cared for by my sisters, right? You know, whoever is caring for those little ones, if they would like to be a part of that part and participate, but maybe they're just not comfortable just yet in bringing them on. That's totally fine. Partnership playgrounds is a great place to start. Questions on the partnership playground?
Yeah. You said safely and say something with child care.
So, if you're familiar with Imagine City, it has a section where the parents can sit, and then there's a play area. So you have a full visual, and you can, you'll be able to go in. It's all enclosed, so kiddos can't run away. Because they will, right? They will. I heard questions. No? All right, last one. I'm making quick. We're gonna have a trauma-informed, nonviolent child raising training. It is a 10-day session that will take place here at the Children's Bureau. This one is 11 to 1, Wednesdays and Thursdays. I know we're in prime summertime. We've got a lot of kiddos at home. Bring them. We want to see them here. Here we'll have activities, arts and crafts for them. We want parents to feel comfortable coming to the family resource center and being able to bring their kiddos with them. Okay, so just keep an eye out for this one. Flyers are outside. They're also shuffling your back. So again, Best Start will be busy during the summer. We hope that you guys can continue to be involved, but more importantly, that you're able to support the work. Okay? Again, our grantees here have been doing a lot of this heavy lifting in the community. We want to make sure that we're not having to work so hard all the time. With more support, this work can really go a long way. You guys got hand up? The playgroups are launching this July. Once a month. Yeah, they follow the partnership regional. Any other questions? We're gonna, because I can talk guys for hours. Yes.
Thank you so much, Marta. Thank you so much. So we're coming to the best part now, and I'm gonna get our grantees, get your skills together, because we're gonna call you up to the platform. Don't be scared, don't be scared. Y'all doing a great job. But I'm gonna bring Sylvia up, and she's gonna give you some insights on what Best Start has been doing with our grantees and what we attempt and are doing here in the Antelope Valley.
Yeah, we're really excited, like I said earlier, for the showcase, because like I said, there are so many amazing people doing amazing work here. So we really wanted everybody to know what is happening, that there's a lot of stuff that happens that, you know, we hear people say, well, I didn't even know that we had these services. I didn't know that there's, we want to continue getting that communication out, getting that information out. But the way we did the grants last year was that, we had 8 domains that we were looking at before we were choosing what our community change agenda would be, but they were domains like education, health, justice, mental health services. We had environmental. We also had and so from there, the grantees were able to apply for a grant, and that their project would really hit on one of the domains or more than one of the domains. And we had a lot of partnerships where the grantees got together with Best Start, and if there's events, so that there was certain things that happened, we supported each other on a lot of the events that happened, but a lot of the work was going on. So what we want to do, the way we want to do it is Darrell will walk to each table and just give the grantees an opportunity to just say something about the project. And if you also want to talk a little bit about other things that you're doing within your organization or the project, we invite you to do that. And then once we do the walk around, we also are going to be providing some lunch is getting set up right now. So stay tuned for that. And then obviously once the meeting wraps up, you're going to have an opportunity to talk to each one of our amazing grantees and organizations that we have here in the Antelope Valley. So again, thank you to the grantees. Really, the work that you guys do within our community is so valuable and it's so important. And we need to make sure that as a community, we get other people, other funders. If we know of Kaiser looking to fund different organizations, we need to share that information. We need to make sure that you all continue to get funding, continue doing this amazing work that you're doing. Thank you. Oh, okay. Because we are doing this hybrid and the people online won't be able to see, if you go to the table, we will then just have you come up here and just give us a 4 or 5 minute, nice try, Jan. I know you're drinking out. Sorry. Lisa, you wanna come up first? Ms. Lisa Dawson from Valley Oasis.
Thank you, Sylvia and Best Start and the Children's Bureau. My name is Lisa Dawson. I'm the Director of Trauma Services at Valley Oasis. Historically, Valley Oasis is known as the domestic violence shelter in the Antelope Valley, but we're much more than that. We have a rape crisis center. We provide therapy for children between the ages of 4 and 17. An array of services, including our very large homeless department for needed entry system. But our contact with Best Start was really born from the work that started at Children's Bureau with our Healthy Start. Healthy Families Initiative, and Mama's Neighborhood, who really focused on fatherhood and raising the voices of men in the lives of children. It's so important, and fathers have such an impact on school success. And so our project was called Dedication. And Dedication is a PSA, it's a public service documentary, and it's very short, it's about 20 minutes. But it elevates the voices of fathers in the lives of their children. I encourage you to check it out because it's free. You can take it to any of your community meetings, and they have curriculum there for you to also use in engaging the community and various aspects of fatherhood and the impact they have in the neighborhood. So we elevated the voices of three men. We hosted a dinner, presented the documentary, and hosted the voices of three men. We had Reginald Applin come and call, and you may be familiar with Reginald. He works with LA County. He's very involved in fatherhood programming. We had Ayende Love come and talk about fatherhood and the impact they can have, the financial impact they can have in the lives of children. And then we had Anthony Nix come, who is someone who was involved in the re-entry system, and he talked about his impact as a father. There was a second project, and I'm not very familiar with that, but it was for our homeless bridge housing for families. Some funding was provided to take the families on field trips, which is really great because often there aren't funds for families. So bringing some fun into the lives of families is so important to mental health and well-being. I know Adam stepped out, but I do want to share something that Valley Oasis is currently part of. It's a project with UCLA Pittsburgh, Center on Families and Children, the Department of Child and Family Services, and Valley Oasis as a DEI program. And we are looking at mandated supporting and the impact we can have in keeping families out of the DCFS system, children at home with their families, and allowing persons who are being victimized or abused not to be fearful about seeking help. Because if you're worried about having your kids taken from you, that will keep you in the abusive situation. So sorry, Sylvia, I didn't know.
No worries, no worries.
I only have 4 minutes. But our impact study will be completed in October. We'll be able to share the research from this collaborative. It's very exciting work, and I'm going to call Adam and see if we can get involved in some of that legislation. So, thank you.
Thank you, Lisa.
So next I'm going to call Denise Fawcett. And I do want to say, Denise is an active member and participant of our Just Start regional meeting, as she jumped full force into being a part of this community. I'm going to turn this over to her.
Sometimes I get a little excited and sometimes a little emotional. So I'll let you know ahead of time. So good morning, I am Denise Fawcett. I am the CEO and founder of A+ Nutrition. I'm also a nutritional counselor and health specialist. So it's great to see everyone here today, and I'm so grateful to Sylvia and the Best Fact team to inviting me here and to include me to participate in the Muni Grant program. It made such a tremendous difference in what A+ Nutrition was able to do. The grant enabled us to reach families throughout the community from different areas, of different backgrounds, different languages, different cultures, and to be able to teach them about nutrition, about why certain things are important during pregnancy, as well as when the child is growing. We've seen an increase in childhood obesity, childhood diabetes, mental health issues, as well as other issues in our children's lives. We've looked at the data that shows that our children who struggle in school, a lot of them are dealing with depression and other issues. Our suicide rates of our children, our young people, have increased. And you may ask, why are you saying these things, and what does this have to do with nutrition? It has everything to do with nutrition. If we don't take care of our children and give them the proper nutrition for their brains to grow, they're going to continue to struggle in school. They're going to continue to struggle through high school, through college if they make it to college. or they may end up getting into trouble with the law because they don't have the education, they don't have the knowledge, they don't have the skills that they need to live a healthy, productive lifestyle, which is why nutrition is so important. It's important not only for the physical health, but the mental health as well. A lot of people don't realize how much the gut reflects in the brain, and what goes on in the brain affects our emotions, it affects our physical health, and I want to see a generation growing up free from diabetes. Yes. Like I said, I might get emotional. I see too many children walking around with diseases and on medication at 5, 6, 7 years old. Our children are not supposed to be on medication as toddlers. That's not the way they were designed to be. And in order for their brains to grow effectively, we as parents, as caregivers, it has to start with us. And that's why the pregnancy nutrition class was so important. That's why proper education is important. It's all intertwined. Now, as far as our project, we did a 4-week workshop. The workshop consisted of different classes each and every week. We encouraged parents to come, moms and dads, because it's important what the dad does too. If mom is eating healthy and trying to get the children to eat healthy, and dad is sitting there with a package of cookies and a bag of chips and soda, what does that say to the child? The nutrition isn't important. But if dad is eating an orange and food snacks along with the children, then that makes a difference in that home. The whole family is going to be healthy. And even if we start just one family at a time, we're going to make a huge difference in our families, in our communities, in our schools. So that's important. The first week we talked about conception and pregnancy. We discussed the nutrients needed for mom, the development of the baby while it's growing inside mom, how to plan balanced meals and include these nutrients. As you go around, you'll see we use the My Plate. And you'll see on the wall some of the things that some of our participants put together. Their assignment for that particular session was to take the nutrients that we learned about and to design a meal. So they had different meals that they had to do where they had to include all of those elements and the food that we learned that contained nutrients that was important to mom. We discussed some of the complications in pregnancy. And we talked about things that contribute to them, things that mom can do to lessen the effects or lessen the chance of dealing with some of these issues by taking care of her own body, by eating the proper foods, by reducing stress. So we learned that, and so week 2 was on nursing in year 1. So we talked a little bit about nursing. Some moms have trouble nursing. We talked about wanting to see a lactation specialist if that was something that you needed. Or if you're not able to nurse, how to look for the proper formula to make sure that it's not outdated, to make sure you check with your physician. So we gave a few little tips on that. We looked at the factors that affect the baby's brain, the role of attachment and interaction between parents, how important that is during their development and during their growth, because that affects the way their brain grows. In the 3rd session, we looked at my toddler and me, and we know that sometimes toddlers can stress us out. So during that time, we actually looked at stress. What causes our stress? The moms got a chance to look at their own triggers. What triggers me? What is it that my child does, my toddler does, that creates anxiety in me? So we looked at that and gave them some simple solutions that they could use to help with that. We learned some breathing exercises, just real simple little things. Breathing in, holding it, and breathing out. Because if you're concentrating on breathing, the stress causes releases from your body. It causes your body to relax. So those are little skills that we learned. Also during that time, we learned about play and the importance of play. We learned about healthy snacks. We learned about a fruit pizza, which everybody enjoyed, and the kids had so much fun doing that. So we want to extend this. We want to do it again, but do it with Zoom so more parents can make it. And also we want to extend it to 8 weeks so that we can do more. And I know I'm running out of time, but like I said, I get excited. If you want more information, I'm also giving away a free pH test. You can enter over here and I'll explain to you what that is when you come by.
Thank you, Denise.
So, my old pastor used to do this. If he gave you a few minutes and it was your time and you kept going, he would stand up. Some of y'all know Bishop Hearn. He stand up. Bless your heart, daughter. Bless your heart. That meant, hurry up, your time is over. So we're limited because we have a lot to go through. So if you could keep your introductions to maintenance or less. And then 4 minutes. 4 minutes. That means y'all gotta keep it rolling, because I will stand up and go, bless your heart, darling. So I'm gonna ask them, come on. You do it in so much love and sweetness. You smile at him, I love you, bless your heart. Wrap it up.
I hear you. Good morning, everyone. How are you?
Thank you for coming on a wonderful Thursday. I'm Lisa Sarno, and I'm the newly installed chairperson for Action for Kids. And I'm not here alone today because we all know we can't do it alone, right? Out in the community, we have to have others that are supporting us and that volunteer with us. So as a completely volunteer organization, Action for Kids is one of the 12 childhood prevention councils here in Los Angeles County. I'm here with my colleague Tess, who has been a part of the council for numerous years at this point in time. So I wanted to make sure I thank her personally for her years of dedication. The other thing too is, how about a big hand for all of you? From Miss Sylvia, her chief, and all of you that are sitting here, you know what? You're my jolt of joy for today. Thank you for being my first jolt of joy for this morning. So when we started this project, thank you for the grant. When we started this project, we took a look at some islands, isolated islands, and we recognized that there are mobile homes out here, mobile home parks that really were isolated, right? They were islands. How many of you, let's just say, how many of you know your entire street, all your neighbors? Raise your hand. See? Right? I do. Right? But that's because I took the time to go around and walk and actually knock on the doors. And you know, nowadays when you knock on the doors, people are looking at you like, who are you? Right? Who are you? And on the ring, right? They're like, you hear from, if they have a ring, you hear this voice coming at you. How can I help you? What do you want? Right? I'm like, oh, dang. I'm here, I'm your neighbor, I'm down the street. And a lot of times what happens nowadays is I get a package that's delivered to the wrong house. Or I get mail that's in my mailbox that's not for me. It's actually for one of my neighbors. Instead of sticking it back in the slot, or basically not returning, you know, a lot of people don't return those packages. I walk down to my neighbor and I basically hand them the box, hand them the mail. And that's a good way, if you will, to make that introduction. But in the mobile home parks, we found that a lot of folks, like everybody else, working moms, single parents, right? Latchkey kids, and they don't really have the interconnections and the communication that's necessary to create a community. And you know what? The other thing too we also recognize is people don't come together if they do not feel psychologically safe. If they don't feel safe in their environments, if they don't feel safe coming to an event, they're not gonna come. Especially if they don't know anybody. So what we did was we worked with the mobile home park owners and management, and we used their community groups. And what we did was we created, you know, you have to have that little hook to bring them in, so that we could do the childhood prevention workshops, so that we could do the bullying workshops, so that we can show them the moms, you know, early detection on cervical breast cancer, and also working with DMH, fighting with DMH, so that we can remove the stigma of mental health issues, right? But you had to have something that they were really interested in and felt safe in coming to. Now, how many people, well, we would all know, because we all know, but who's not aware, who would go to a childhood prevention abuse workshop? It's like, what do you mean? I'm abusing my child? What are you talking about? Right? So what we did was we used Zumba. Okay. And we used, if you will, arts and crafts, art for the kids. And we started off We start out really slow, 20. 1 minute, okay, so I hear you. Bless my heart, I got it. Okay. So let me say, what we found is that it started out with 3 families and then it grew. And now what we have is we have ongoing communication between the residents and those that came, and if you will, a connection. And what we like to use in our team is we create and we help to create parental resiliency. So I hear you, I'm leaving now. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you and we hope to work with you. And thank you to Rosie, our executive director. Appreciate you all. Here you go. Was that okay?
That was
Okay.
wonderful, wonderful. See, I knew we were communicating. We're on the same page. Come on. Miss Jan, I'm gonna have you come next. Come on up here, Miss Jan. My sister from another district.
Right, well, I guess I know that I gotta go and wrap this up. So I'm gonna come right off this paper on y'all, okay? So this is what I'm gonna do. My name is Jan Malone, and I am the founder of A Seat at the Table, which is an organization, a nonprofit organization that we are designed to meet the emotional and social needs, physical needs within our community, while serving as a bridge to growth and development for our children and our families. I am the director and owner of Malone Family Child Care as well, and I have been doing that for over 20-something years. So within that aspect, I realized that a lot of my mommies that come to me had no idea as far as self-care, what they needed to do to better themselves in order to help their families. So in that, we created a day, and it's called My Beautiful Self. And within this day, it's a day of wellness for our beautiful mommies or women, whatever. And the day is designed to promote the social and emotional well-being of women, giving a safe place for women to heal mentally, spiritually, emotionally, with the support from other women that have been through some of the abuses that women deal with within our lives. A lot of women, they sit in silence because we have to be strong for our children. We have to be strong for our families. So many people depend on us to be strong. We may even serve in churches. We have to be strong, right? So where do we go for a place, a day that no one wants nothing from us but to love on us? A place where we could go where other women of like mind and situations or whatever have been through things that we silently deal with, for them to tell us there is hope and that you will overcome. We now have a network where you can call on me, sister, on those dark days. When your husband, are not quite doing what they're supposed to do, I'm here for you. So we designed a day of that, and we deal with women that come from addictions, domestic violence, molestation, rape, substance abuse, depression, post-traumatic stress disorders, suicide attempts, assaults, victims of battery. And these women come and we give them a platform for them to explain to other women how they overcame and the struggle, and to let them know that they are there with them. That is one thing, and I thank Best Start for granting us grant money in order for us to continue to do the work and make it bigger and better. We also have a new venture that we're venturing out to, because not just with women, we want to work with the entire family, because that's what I do. So now we're going to deal with the girls, because along with the mommies, the babies, we also need the girls, the brothers, and the fathers to be a good, So now we're going to expand on the girls. So we will be hosting a workshop for young girls ages 10 to 18. And yes, and it's called Beauty is My Name. And with this workshop, it's a transformative workshop designed specifically for girls and young women. And the passion is about self-development and personal growth and empowerment. And that's it. I won't tell you the workshop topics. You just got to sign the girls up.
All right, thank you, Ms. Jan. Thank you, Ms. Jan. Next we have, who's coming? Mr. Brian?
Yes.
Yes, come on. You know it. So pastor means like 10 minutes, and then you have the overflow, so it's like, you know, this is my third and final close, we may have that thing, Mark. Two closing, okay. Yeah. All right.
Morning, everyone. Great to be here. I'm gonna just dive right in. My name is Brian Johnson, pastor of True Life Community Church, been a pastor now for 13 years, founder and CEO of the Nehemiah Project, which I'm extremely excited about. We're just starting and doing some really great work. So let me just go ahead and start off what we did with the grant. I want to thank you, Sylvia, for making sure that I knew about this. I appreciate you. Thank you. Again, just thank you again, the staff. You guys done a great job. Your support for more. Appreciate you. So we did what we call Family Fun Fair. And what we wanted to do with the grant money was to create a space for family to come and enjoy each other without having to pay anything. So y'all know how much gas is, y'all know how much eggs are. I got a little one still where they talk about we want to do this, we want to do that. I got a little one with the budget. It's not the same as it was. So what we really want to do again, just create a space for the family to come out and enjoy one another. Get off the games, parents get off the phones and engage. We want to build this understanding of this behavior of communicating with the children. We live in a day now where even the parents are stuck on their phones, right? You ever go to a restaurant and you see the whole family, they're just sitting on their phone? That hurts my heart, especially for us that didn't grow up with that type of stuff. We had to learn how to talk. And looking at the children today, and even the parents, we don't know how to communicate with each other. So again, just creating a space for them to have fun. We had face painting, we had food, we had jumpers, of course. We gave away a lot of free stuff, a lot of good things. And the things that we gave away were geared for family engagement, right? So they can go home, play games, not video games, where you had to literally sit across from one another. Remember the games?
Yeah, like
Monopoly. Remember that? We used to fight. See, that's good. That's good family bonding when you fight over Monopoly. I don't know if anyone ever done that, but it's great. You learn how to do stuff, right? So we had a really, really great time. That started came. A lot of people showed up. A lot of people here showed up and participated. And what we're about at True Life Community Church is really just being a part of the community and being an answer to whatever is needed. Like most of you, I wear many hats. The other hat is CEO and founder of the Nehemiah Project. This is what I wanted to share with you guys. I'm gonna read it, like my sister, I'm gonna read on the screen. It's real simple, it's real simple. The Nehemiah Project is really just an answer to the plight of African Americans in this country. We know through slavery, Jim Crow, segregation, war on drugs, mass incarceration. Many of our community has suffered trauma, and this trauma has, in our opinion, has not really been addressed. We can put people in houses and we can do this, that, and the other, but we have not really addressed, in my opinion, the systemic issue and the trauma that we have taken on from generation to generation to generation. Right? So what Nehemiah Project does is we will fix and we will address the right now issue. But our main goal is to work on the trauma, so that when we start to have our more family, we're not passing on trauma, dysfunctional behaviors. In the church, we have this weird saying we call spiritual generational curses. I don't believe in any of that. I believe in generational dysfunction. When we see that, now we can deal with it on that level. A lot of dysfunctional behavior. And it is what it is. So the first thing that we're working on is in domestic violence, something that I'm very passionate about. In domestic violence, 5 seconds? Yeah. African American women in the state of California make up 5% of the population, but 42.5% of victims of domestic violence. That's our staple, and that's what we will be focusing on the most. Want more information? I got flyers in there. Thank y'all.
Please go for that next final close, and I'm telling you, I feel them coming in. That's why we're gonna have the gallery walk.
Go around. Okay, next I'm gonna have you with the purpose. Come on, see the team. This one from you with the purpose. All right.
Hi, everyone. My name is Crystal Delatore with the Community Liaison for Youth with a Purpose, and I'm here with. Hi, good morning. I'm Kelly Timmons, one of the event coordinators. So, Youth with a Purpose started in 2020 when our founder saw a need to disrupt the school to prison pipeline, and that became a vision where we saw a world where vulnerable communities have equal access to supportive services to help them reach their goal and their purpose. And that became our mission, where we plant seeds of hope and water purpose in the lives of our youth. And we do that through, we started with 3 main social services, which is our performing arts program, where kids can build confidence and explore passions. Our transitional age youth housing for girls 18 to 21 in the foster care system or who are experiencing homelessness. It provides housing for 2 years and provides them with opportunities to life skill building classes and experiences. And our Mom Mentor Network, which Ms. Kelly will be talking about in just a few seconds. We've since expanded. We have a new building called the Center where kids will have access to a place to go after school. And also as best do homework, they'll have support. And this summer we're gonna have our summer camp for kids 5 to, I believe, 18. And it's gonna be this July, and there's so much fun time for them this July. They're gonna have food, and it's just gonna be all kinds of fun. And everything is free. All of this is free. So since we're short on time, I'm gonna be passing the floor to Ms. Kelly.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to thank Best Star. Shamika, our founder, would like to thank Best Star for the grant. What she did with the grant is she started what's called the Mom Mentor Network. And the Mom Mentor Network was created in the height of infant and maternal mortality rates in the African American women and babies in LA County. In response, we match young moms under 29 years old between the ages of 14 and 22. And we have them signed to the program for at least 1 year. Within that program, they receive mentorship, a sister circle peer group, baby supplies, professional photo shoot, postpartum care supplies, empowerment event, life skill workshops, and annual budget. One of the mommy mentors, as well as Ms. Dave back there, is one of the mommy mentors. We work closely with these young women, giving them nutritional information. I use a lot of the information that I got from Denise for that program to teach them how to take care of their babies. We work one-on-one with them. We follow them for the whole entire year, as well as using some of the other programs that are in here. So we're getting them work permits, writing education, educational information to get them into school and college and things like that. So just a wealth of information. If you have any more questions, by the table, I can answer them. Lastly, I would like to invite everyone to our grand opening for the center on August 3rd. It's going to be a block party type event. There's going to be food, giveaways, and especially school supplies because it's a back to school event. We welcome everyone. There's going to be more information about it on the table as well.
Awesome. Okay, so we are making our way to the back here. Come on, Dr. Blackwell. Let's welcome Dr. Matthew Blackwell. Hey, yeah, come on. Hey. Blackwood. I said Blackwood. Blackwood. I know him. Okay, you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
My name is Matthew Blackwood. Too many things going on to mention, but pastor, business owner. I'm going to get right into it. The name of my company is Billionaire Leadership. And I thought it was going to be about just helping businesses, entrepreneurs, things like that, but realized that social enterprise is really critical. So thank you guys for the opportunity to have the grant. My project deals with financial literacy. How many of you know at least one unhoused person that you've seen in Lancaster, Antelope Valley? So when I looked at the 8 areas of concern that negatively affect outcomes for children, family, and residents, we wanted to focus on children, youth, and families targeting the in-house, And we do that by addressing budgeting and organization, finances, things like that. I'll tell you about our first strategic partnership that we are looking to expand. So if you know an organization that works with the unhoused or those that have needs, let me know. Second is education. So developing spending plans, growth mindset, because again, mindset is everything, right? Okay. Employment and economy, budgeting, organizing your finances, entrepreneurship, because some individuals who may be in-house don't know that they can start this, right? Some of the questions that we asked included, we actually gave them money. I told them I needed it back because it was fake money. But again, it gave them a chance to have a budget and to kind of see how they prioritize. There was a lot of socialization that took place, a lot of conversations amongst themselves, and they realized that there are resources available that would help them to still be effective and then to start to change not just their narrative, but the narrative of the people that are part of the families, the children. So it's about legacy building. I've got 2 minutes. All right, so the financial education program participants, they received t-shirts, and we worked with a strategic partner. Any of you guys ever heard of Street Company and do coffee? Okay, so that's our first strategic partner. And they have a cohort that's over 7 to 8 weeks. So we actually customized a training dealing with financial literacy to work directly with it. And that is ongoing throughout the year. So this grant has helped us to launch that. We've committed to doing that throughout the year. So about 4 modules we do, and we do that over the course of 2 days every time they have a new group. All right, I've got 1 minute and 23 seconds. Okay, all right, so community partnership impact, Castor's Coffee, one of the things that Street Company wants to do is they would provide 12 full-time and part-time employment opportunities for the people who experience homelessness. We want to help them double or triple that, okay? And want to do that so that they have sustainability. Okay, 58 seconds, Lord have mercy. All right, so if you want more information on what we do, we also have a grand opening coming up. Anybody familiar with where Soul Plaza is? Okay, so please come out and see us. We'll have food. Let me give you that's going to be tomorrow. It's going to be from 4 to 6 p.m. What time?
4 to 6 p.m.
Okay, so if you want the address to that, it is free to the public. There's going to be prizes and stuff like that. By the way, my beautiful wife is in the back next to me, Dr. Nicole. And so I am going to surrender the mic back again. I'm at the table in the back.
Awesome. So much. And I'm gonna bring up his gorgeous wife, Dr. Nicole Blackwood, and she's gonna come and share what they were able to do with the grant that they received. So, yay!
Y'all are awesome for coming out. The reason you're in this room is because you care about the community like me, so I already love you, so you're good. So my name is Dr. Nicole Blackwood, and I am here as representative, co-owner, and visionary of Generation Coffee Coffee. Y'all know where we are? Raise your hand if you know where we are. We're on 10th Street West, right across from Walmart, next to Buffalo Wild Wings and Goodwill. I want to see you there. So after my beauty speech, come see me in the booth. I have coupons for you to buy one, get one for free. But let me tell you a little bit about Generations and what we do for the grateful. So Generations is a social enterprise. What that is we're a nonprofit. We don't just sell coffee. We love people. And so we have several initiatives, several arms at Generations Coffee. It's a coffee shop like none other guys. What we do is we support community. We support business. I can't tell you about all of them here, but you can talk to me. We support small business. We support local ministries. And when I say support, I really mean that. We don't just offer support, but we actually lend mini grants. We support fiscally. We support the homeless. Our vendor, our coffee bean vendor is Street Company, and Street Company hires the homeless. And so we like to think that we have a hand in hiring the homeless by utilizing their unique organic beans. So every time you come support Generations and buy a cup of coffee, you are literally supporting the local unhoused. Last but not least, we're called Generations for a reason. We really embrace multicultural, multi-generational community events in our coffee shop. And so you'll see even behind the bar that all of our baristas are youth and young adults. And so that's one of the main things we used our mini grant for, was to build capacity in the area of our youth work readiness program.
And so when you come order a latte at Generations, you will most likely be serviced by a teen or someone in their young adult years, in their twenties. They are being put through 160 work hours and taught how to make a drink and how to run a business. And so thank you for supporting us. What we did with our mini grant, as I take my seat, is we used it to do two main things. There's so many things we do at Generations, but this particular grant was used to launch our, let me just show you this. We launched our family game night for the first time. And that's an ongoing monthly game night that we started opening our doors in the evening. There's like very little busy. So we have like all these board games. Just move them out, embrace families, kids, moms and dads, and just create a safe space for that camaraderie to happen. And so we did that, and then we also expanded our work readiness program to include leadership training for those baristas that graduated from our work readiness program and were ready to learn more about leadership and supervisory positions. And so thank you, Best Start, for what you're doing.
Thank you. And thank you for your time. Please come by.
It's important that when you're buying your coffee that you choose where you're buying it from. Because we really could use your support. Mini grants like this and support from people like you really makes a difference. So thank you, Amy.
Okay, in the very rear, you're making your way up its foundational tree. Pastor Latora. Come on, Pastor Latora. And her assistant, beautiful sister, Shalin.
All right, so I'm not a pastor, so I'm gonna break all the rules, I'll start cussing up here, I'm just playing. No, we're excited for the work that we've been able to do, thank you, Best Art. We actually are Foundation Christian Ministries, we're located on the east side of Condell, off of 27th East and Avenue R. We started in 2020. And with that, we just believe 100% that the church should be at the forefront of solving a problem. So one of the major problems that we have, obviously, in the Antelope Valley, are youth services, foster youth, and then we have trafficking is a huge thing. So we help to support agencies and things like that. And then we have the Antelope Valley Coalition that we actually host against Antelope Valley Coalition Against Human Trafficking that we actually host monthly. What we did with this particular project as grantees, we did a program called Little Builders, and that was geared towards kids that are aged 3 to 11. And it was really awesome because it was summer camp and it was completely free. So it was a great space for young people to experience things that they never have before, especially for the community that is located on the east side of Condell. I grew up here, I'm from this valley, and quite frankly, I'm 43 right now. And since I've been a kid, there hasn't been enough significant change that I've seen on that side of town. So we want to be a part of that change. And so it was really awesome to have kids come in, have fun, be exposed to things that they otherwise wouldn't have access to, have a great meal, have fun, learn new things, and it was just phenomenal. So with that, we used the money just to have our youth come in. We had youth counselors. We have a youth counselor in the back. You'll see her. She'll tell you more about one of the other programs that we do, which is called Mindful Me Mentorship. That's geared toward teenagers. So that program is actually starting again in July. It's super popular because all the teens love coming, learning about mentorship, life skills, and whatever it is that they're interested in doing, we ask them, and then we teach them about how to go out and be great. So you can learn more about those programs in the back. We have information for you. Again, we're located on the east side of Condell. And then I want to tell you about my sister. She's amazing. This is Shar. She is our youth director, and she talks way better than I do. So she's going to tell you about Little Builders and what we're doing currently with Little Builders. Now, I told y'all, last year we were completely free because of Best Start. And guess what? This time we got charged a little bit. It's only $10 a day. She's gonna tell you about it. But I'm putting that out there because in case y'all wanna help us out, we don't have to charge the community if you wanna help us out. I got no shame. Well, thank you. And she's absolutely right. This year we do have to charge at least $10 per day for the kids because we do offer so much. The camp is gonna actually begin on Tuesday. We still have open registration, so if you wanna come back and scan our QR code, pick a flyer, that would be great. We are still servicing students, kids ages 3 to 11,
And this year is gonna be a little bit different. We're kind of more performing arts based this year. So the kids are gonna learn a lot of different things. We've got a music session, a music day. So basically they will learn drums, they'll learn guitar, they'll have singing lessons, and they will do an acting session. It's gonna be pretty awesome from 9 to 1. So one day will be that. We have a complete water day throughout the week. And then on Thursdays, which is our last day before the week, would be a STEM day. So basically they will be doing all kinds of science activities. There's an actual learning curriculum that's we integrate in there that is also fun, so they don't feel like they're back in school. Our staff is consistent of a few educators that are actually in the education system. So we know that we have a good foundation for our curriculum. And we meet all of our kids with love. They get a hot meal every single day, and they have the opportunity to just really commune with one another and other students. So thank you so much for our time. That is our
I love it, I love it, I love it. Okay, next, we have our next presenter, Ms. Tavier from Empower Them.
That's why we'd be more than happy to sponsor next week. So anybody else for the man, right? So thanks for coming in on it. Okay, so I'm happy to come to the collective. Hey y'all. And so what we do at our organization here at Systems Change Local Organization, which means we focus on how do we change the system that's working. We do policy advocacy, how programs are designed and developed, how funders give money in this community. So our project was a research-based project. We wanted to see why were there barriers to certain demographics of this community getting the services that they need. Some y'all, y'all need to know it, a certain way. I had a hunch, but research supports the hunch. And what we found is that there's a lack of cultural relevancy in a lot of our programs. There's a lack of representation of the staff in a lot of our programs and services, and all organizations are not funded equally. Let the church say, all right, so after we did several focus groups, community engagement sessions here from the most vulnerable of the most vulnerable, just honestly everybody knows about this problem. Y'all research that y'all did last year, really make that out. If you don't know that book that's in your group, the data, look at it. Right now, the Antelope Valley is vulnerable. So we were talking to the vulnerable of the vulnerable. And based on what we gathered from that, I went to work. And what that looks like, so what we did after getting all that data information is really important to keep something on the list. It's super important. You might get excited about it. What we were able to do is with our information, really start to advocate outside of the Antelope Valley. Because how many people know the money is not actually here? The money is outside of the Antelope Valley. Okay? So we went outside of the Antelope Valley to advocate funders to say, this is what we really need funding. Okay? We need organizations to hire individuals who truly represent the community that they're trying to serve. That's one. Okay? We need programs to be designed by people with lived experience in the services in which you're going to offer. And if you're going to get those individuals, then you need to pay them. You would say that, pay them for their lived experience and expertise. Okay. What that has ultimately equated to is an additional $5 million coming into the Antelope Valley. If of those dollars that are coming into service of the programs that they have to get a lived experience advisory council. You can't just design a program without the actual people you're going to serve. If we don't pay them. So some of those stipend ranges from $400 a month to $750 a month. No, I need an extra $750 a month. So that is the result of the research that we did with our project. We are really shifting how organizations show up. And the last one is really making room for new organizations, grassroots organizations, to have a seat at the funding table. Yes, that's actually in progress. So if you are a nonprofit leader, soon to be a nonprofit leader, community leader, and you want in on what is coming, you should probably come see me in the back. Because the money is here, the money will continue to come, And we are ensuring that the Department of Health, that we help make room for everyone else to have a seat at that one too. Right? You know, I don't gas now, I make money.
And then he did this. Wow, drop the mic. Okay, here we come with CCAD, Ms. Osa. Good.
Hi. See you, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
All right, I wear many hats, so I'd like to clarify. Hi, everyone, my name is Osas, and yes, I am the Executive Director of the Children's Center. However, today, I am here in my capacity as the Bishop of Temple of Deliverance Ministries International. We got the name. The Children's Center is here, and I got my amazing Stephanie at the back. She will be coming up shortly. Okay. But I also want to do a shout out to other support services represented by Sophia, my daughter. And again, to clarify, we wear many hats. It's not because we like to work hard, but there is a need. And so we have to rise. Sometimes you have to be the answer to the prayer that you've been praying. And so we prayed in church, and we got out of church and went into community and got some things done. And so thanks to God and Best Start, thank you. We love you, Sylvia. Thank you so much, Darrell and everybody at Best Start, and our amazing community, the AV, amazing, resilient AV. I'm so proud to hear all the things I heard today and all the good things that are coming up after this. We took that money 21 years after the founding of our church. I say 21 because I remember my twins were born and they were both in strollers when we started our first service at my backyard 21 years ago. That's when we started. It was to show holistic faith. And we've been doing that in many ways. And from having a thrift store to helping families get back their children, to, you know, hosting meetings with community and the sheriff's department and all kinds of things, and doing workshops and, you know, and helping with community outreach events and public health issues and all kinds of things, and helping the unhoused. We've done it all. And so this time we were able to take something that was near and dear to my heart, and I thought we should do it one at church and then take it to community. We did, with a mental health first aid training. What is that? Has anyone ever heard about CPR first aid training? Yes. I'd like to see your hands. Yeah. Thank you. Has anyone ever heard about mental health first aid training? There you go. Thank you. Mixed. Has anyone in this room taken the mental health first aid training? That's what we did. I am a certified trainer. My daughter at the back, Sophia, also is, and we've done this like 20 times. This grant allowed us to do a huge group at our church. We did another one at the Children's Center of the Antelope Valley. And because of the demand, even when I walked in today, someone asked me, I brought 2 other people, when are you doing the next one? Because of the demand, we looked at all the leftover materials we had ordered, thanks to the books you gave us, thanks to the funding. We saw that more people were asking, and we gave our time, and we did a 3rd one, even though we had said we wanted to do 2. But because not everybody showed up for all the previous trainings we have been doing, we put them all together and we did a 3rd one. So we've trained a lot of people locally and around the county and even internationally. So your grant allowed us to do that, and there is a huge need. Why? Tell me when it's time, because I didn't start. Did you get 14 seconds? 14 seconds. Here's the thing. Many times we ask people, what's wrong with you? We should be asking what happened to you. And because of that, we're changing the language to person-centered language, and we're helping them get to understand behaviors, where they're coming from, and how to respond appropriately. So with that, I want to say, if there's anything we can do to help bring those trainings to where you are, or invite us, or we'll invite you to when we're doing it next, it will be our pleasure. So let's back up our faith with our works. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And who's our CCAD representative?
Oh, wait. She's gonna come.
she's gonna come.
Yeah, she's gonna come.
Oh,
Sophia
Sophia.
is next, yeah,
Okay.
and then Vivi. Thank you.
Now I'm gonna have Sophia.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to Best Start for allowing us to have this mini grant. I'm here with Public Support Services. We are a nonprofit that partners with a bunch of the agencies in this room, and we support our community to be more resilient. And so we do that a lot through education. And one of the major needs is court-recognized classes. This is huge for parents who are on the verge of losing custody of their kids. And an untapped network that we didn't know existed when we started this organization is a lot of people who are coming out of incarceration in these classes as well. And so this mini grant gave us the opportunity to experiment a little bit with the need that people kept sharing with a hope for evening classes. As you're coming out of incarceration, one of the biggest needs is employment, and as they're seeking jobs, they now are asking employers, can I take lunch so I can do my anger management class real quick? And so this mini grant gave us the opportunity to do some work hours, and we can start work. You can write the notes of that, but it's something that we can continue to do and make this class and this education more accessible to the people most. So moving forward, that's something we hope to continue to do. If you or anyone you know needs anger management, domestic violence, parenting education, or any other supports, we'd like to say that at OSS, we did not walk through the wrong door. If we don't do it, we know something does. So please reach out. We want to be a support to all of the people in this room, agencies and community members. And so I think I came in at the lowest time.
She did, you had 2 minutes left. And evidently, I love it. I thought about it in that moment. Come on, our CCA.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Stephanie. I'm with the Children's Center of the Antelope Valley. And last year we started a new program called Strong Body, Strong Mind. And with the help of Best Start, we were able to provide boxing classes, boxing psychoeducation for children and youth ages 5 up to 16. So that was very exciting to see their progress as they took the course. We offered 3 cohorts of 12 weeks. And during that time, they were able to learn communication skills, coping skills, and then also how to communicate with their peers, right? Because when we think boxing, we think, oh, they're gonna let out some steam. But really, they were working with their peers, working with their coaches. And this was an experience that CCAV, with the help of Guster, was able to provide to children who are from low-income families, are in the foster care system, and are Black and Brown community. So it was very exciting to see the progress that they made. And luckily, we've been able to get more funding, and we're able to extend Strong Body, Strong Mind and provide dance instruction, music classes, and some academic support. So if you visit me at the table, I have some flyers with some additional information of our extension of the services that we're able to provide. Thank you.
Yes. Now, next we're gonna call up Annie Love's Day Yusuf, and she's gonna share a little bit about what they have done in the community and continue to do.
E&E Love Foundation has been around since 2014. We like to call ourselves the underbirth because before everybody started calling things that they now have all these names for, like sex trafficking and all of that, I was being fussed at by these are my children. We are, I would like to say nicely known as the tribe, but sometimes we don't necessarily come nice depending on what we're coming for. But if it's about a child, we're gonna come strong and hard. So that's what we did when we first got here. E&E was really developed off of the fact that I lost my best friend, my ace in the hole, my back, she was everything to me, and that was my mom. And so, and me trying to deal with that, I've always been a journaler, and I was like, I can't be the only one who feels this way. So I began to deal with
other people that had lost somebody and didn't know what to do and didn't know how to proceed on. And then being active, if you ever got an email from me, you know there's a long line of, I'm overeducated, y'all. I don't even know what some of these degrees are, just as an accident. But school has always been, I love to learn, and it's always been my safe place. So I ended up being PTA, and PTA determined, I was over PTA for the Antelope Valley, and I then found out we have foster kids out here by the troves. Where did that come from, right? And so then that meant ED had to deal with that. And then we found out sex trafficking was happening before it was classified as sex trafficking. And I'm like, those are kids too. Wait, we got to do something with that. So our mission is about children aged out, children that are in need, disadvantaged homes, and then those that are experiencing grief. But our undergird is the fact that we go where we're needed until we're no longer needed, right? And so I'd like to acknowledge the fact that I have several of my board here. One is our chairman, who also we call the chef, because he is a chef. And if you've ever been to a meal and a prayer, you've had his cooking. And then this is Zeta, who is one of our VPs. She's over the arts and all of our youth activities. I've got my executive secretary, Donna Hill, here, and Michael Youssef, which is also my son, but he is in charge of our creativity also for younger kids. So we are a family organization, but I've branched out. We're so much more than that now. E&E has a whole life of her own, and she no longer depends directly on Day Youssef, which brings me to Best Start. So I was so, because I felt like I was pulling like the whole world all by myself, and then along came Best Start, and Sylvia and Darrell knocked on my door and said, hey, listen, we see what you're doing. Go ahead and apply for this grant. And I'm like, yeah, okay. I've applied for grants before, nobody cares. Right, and then my friend Tavier back there going, Dave, why you doing all this stuff? You ain't fully funded. The Lord makes the way, y'all. I'm serious. Whatever I set my mind to, and it's in its will, it happens. So what we did was, with this particular grant, we were able to really do a time to train, which is a program that I dealt with children that were not being taught those things that they no longer teach in school, and some of us don't even know how to teach them at home. Life skills, those things like, knowing how to be respectful, those things that are necessary for us to be able to deal with. I know, bless your heart. So those things that are necessary for us to be able to communicate with one another. And it's really just called respect. So that's what we did with our grant.
Love you, Mina. We love you. You got the next community. She's such an active role in our Best Start community and on our committees. She's there. She's active, so we love her. Next, right here. Oh, there you are, Peter. Okay, come on up here, Mr. Huddleston. All right. Like Peter Pan.
My name is Jason Huddleston. I am the founder, visionary for Center. We came across Best Start from the helped us to do some of those things that you see in the TV. Prior to that first grant, everything that I have, everything that was done, was not in my pocket. Along with some donations from friends. For example, where we try to teach a variety of things from the beginning of electronics, to a lot more advanced things.
where we're using microcontrollers and kitchen type things. We couldn't do that before it took a large. So I cared at that time if someone were to break something. And I don't care as much anymore, because we were able to get more of those items, and so student parents. We mentioned.
You have 2 minutes, 40,
Okay.
1 second.
Right, so, let me just say this real quick. Time was critical for me because my journey has been very complex. I started, my journey in 1976. But I've always had this idea about that's always a part of it. There are a lot of training for people who never really thought that. I couldn't see working with people. We need to work with children, working with adults and so forth. So I began to see that in my journey. I didn't know I needed to work with children. I did. I didn't know I needed to work. I did. And so my journey improved on, and then I was injured in 2021, which led me at the end of the year, which gave me time to do. So I tend to look at life in the context of the lens of Romans 8. Purpose. And also Philippians 1. Not too, because it talks about how God completes me, able to complete me. And I feel that what I'm doing, I'm supposed to do. And so I'm looking forward to doing more work with young people. I stayed away, I'm qualified for reentry training in electronics. And I'm staying away from that because I think our young people need more access to what I can do. And I'll just tell you this in closing. I decided what I have to offer seems a little bit maybe out there, but it's not out there because I learned how to do it. I learned how to teach it. I learned how to share this knowledge. And I decided in closing that I do not want to die. So I'm very committed to it.
And one of the things that Mr. Huddleston didn't share is that they're very active within the BestArt community, and within the BestArt community, people start looking to each other for resources. And Mr. Huddleston connected with one of the elementary schools out at the Wasona School District, and they went and he did a presentation with the kids, and you'll see on some of the posters. But the kids, we heard that the kids were just like in awe of just learning the basics on electronics and stuff like that. And so we definitely want to see more of that, Mr. Huddleston. We're going to push for that.
And I will say this, come on, I'm gonna introduce Ms. Donna Hill from Senator Wilkes' office. And I'm gonna share this very quickly about Mr. Huddleston. When he said he teaches the kids, his granddaughter, when she was 2 years old, I don't think she could talk with it. She was the one that taught me how to use my Apple smartphone. I'm just saying. I'm gonna turn this over to Donna, a true story. Yeah. Come on, Donna.
Hello, hi, everybody. So firstly, like we mentioned before, we've all got many hats, so I am from Senator's Capital. However, I have a nonprofit, so I'm here today, partly for my nonprofit Mom's House. And so I want to start, but I normally don't do notes. I'm going to try that because always when I don't do notes, I sit down and I'm like, oh, I should have said that. So we're going to see how this works. So first, I want to apologize to you guys and BestArt for being a speed reader. I sped right past wherever else I was supposed to say to get a table, so I don't have a table. So I'll apologize for you guys for not being efficient, my bad. But I'll apologize to the group because I have some really cool swag that I did not bring, so I'm going to have to get better. On that, I also want to thank BestArt because as all of us know here who have nonprofits, money is short. So thank you to IBA for making it a little bit easier, and thank you to BestArt for doing mini grants because all of us can't hold the $1 million grants, but we can almost curse. We can absolutely do a whole lot with the mini grants. So thank you for that.
Once again, I'm the executive director for Mom's House. We are in our 10-year anniversary. We started in 2013, so Mom's House was started in tribute to my mother, Charlotte Elaine Paulette Johnson, which is why we call it Mom's House. She died of complications from multiple sclerosis in 2009. And what I saw was that we throw away our seniors in America. And so what we did was we started an organization that advocates active aging for seniors through projects and events that keep seniors active. So many of you I've worked with before, any of you that I haven't, I should work with, because all of you have seniors in your groups, and we can help those seniors. We do our programs morph, so they change when somebody is already doing it. If we can't collaborate, then we will suspend that program, start a new program. So what we did with the mini grant was we have a program called Grand Market. We expanded that to Christmas, and we have a Christmas Grand Market, which is a place where seniors can come and get toys for their grandkids. According to AARP 2020, grandparents, they spend approximately $2,562 per grandparent for Christmas. Now, if you know about your grandma and your grandpa, you know they will spend their rent money, their food money, and all on the grandkids, and you're like, you can't eat this much. So what we do is we provide a shopping area for them to pick up toys for their grandkids. They don't have to tell them where they got it from, and then they have a good Christmas, and they can still pay rent and eat. So this year the first time we did it, it's like our fourth one. The first time we did it out of my garage, so it wasn't fun, but it was nice. But this time we did it at the AP Senior Center. We had Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus. We had a DJ. And we had snacks. It was awesome, and we bought extra toys. And we don't just get bargain basement Dollar Tree toys. We got real good toys. We had drones. It was a thing. Thank you very much. And like I said, we made some grandparents and some grandbabies happy. We served 95 families, but most of those grandparents had 3, 4, 5, 7 grandkids. So that's a lot of babies that were happy. And for those who couldn't show up, we delivered a few, but we're not actually set up like that, so we delivered a few. So that's what we did. And who helped us? So our brand of encouragement helped us. Mr. and Mrs. Claus, DJ Crazy K. Let me mention my board member, if they use that back there. You can see how we switched that up. And then A&E Love Foundations, my sorority volunteers, they provided Sorority Incorporated, AV Zetas, so they helped out. Volunteers are a thing. And is that me? That's you? Okay, so I don't have a table, but I'm hijacking Dave's table, so just come to me.
That's good. Come on, put your hands together for our grandkids. One more. Tiffany.
One more. Yes.
Tiffany, yes. Tiffany is the director over at Caravan, and we want to welcome her. And we did the baby bottles. Yes.
Hi, everyone. I am Tiffany Martin, the new executive director for CareNet Women's Resource Center. How many of you have heard of us before? Yep. You all know what we do? Who does not know what we do? All right, I'm here for you. Okay, so we are a women's resource center, and we offer free pregnancy tests and free ultrasounds for our moms out there. And we are confidential because we do have clients that come to see us that are minors and that are afraid, that are sex trafficked, that are raped, that are all the things. And some of them are even married women whose husband says, I don't want another kid. So we have a lot of women who come to see us, and we're confidential for those purposes. And everything is free of charge. And when a woman comes to our facility and they enter into our program, so if they become a client of ours, we have a program called Earn While You Learn. And so it's designed to help new moms, scared moms, old moms that don't know what they're doing, dads that don't know what they're doing, to educate them on being a parent. So we have parenting classes, finance classes to help you budget, help you plan meal plans. We also, when they take a class, they will receive points for every class that they attend and complete. And with those points, they are able to shop in our boutique. and they don't have to use money. And if you've ever been to CareNet's facility and you come to see our boutique, it's super fancy. It's like a mini Babies R Us. It's super great. So you'll have to come and check it out. And we have a whole team of volunteers. So we have 5 staff members and we have 40 volunteers. That is how we're able to roll. So with our Best Start grant that we received, we are able to offer those parenting classes free of charge, and everything that we have in our facility free of charge to our clients. And we have a team of volunteers that receives all of our donations. We have baby clothes. The only thing they don't have to use their points for is baby food and formula. So we do also have that, and they don't have to use points for diapers. And when they come in, they are able to shop in the boutique. I'm telling you, it is the bomb. Our volunteers painstakingly go through everything that is donated to us, and they check for holes and stains and wear and tear. And we don't put anything in our boutique that is not top notch, because we want our moms and dads to be able to shop with dignity and to be able to receive things that have been given to them with love and respect. So if you haven't been to our facility, we're located on the corner of 10th Street West and Lancaster Boulevard. And it's like, we're kind of like on a little island to ourselves. And we just love helping women. We are a faith-based organization. So we also represent the hands and feet of Jesus Christ. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Well, we have come to a point where it's time to meet our grantees. So I'm going to turn this over to our director again, and we're going to go to that next level.
Let's give all these grantees another round of applause, please. The work that we all do, like I said, it's just phenomenal, and we look here through Best Start, we look to continue to support and co-sponsor and work together on more events and more resources for the community. And stay tuned, we are in the process of restructuring our grant process, but as soon as we know, you'll all know, okay? And but most importantly, I know we've kept you here for so long, and but I think it's really important that you are aware of everything that's happening here within our community. And so I want to say thank you. You all could have been somewhere else, and you chose to be here with us today, so we are so thankful. We want to make sure that you know those little bags, you can take those with you. It has information. We still have other flyers, other information here. Before you leave though, you'll see as you walk out, there's a full setup for food, for lunch that we want to provide you guys. And we have tables outside if you want to sit outside or if you want to come back inside. But please have yourself a little bit of lunch and come back and join us at our Best Start meetings. Come back and do some of this work with us. It's really exciting what we're doing here for the community. And I just want to say hi to our program officer, Ms. Pilar, here from Port 5. Makes all this happen. So thank you. And again, thank you so much. And we will continue working. We'll be continue providing events like this for our community. Thank you.